Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel. This will be a quick one. A lot of people have been talking about the Black Sabbath, the Rhino reissue, and they've been doing comparison videos between the original US, the original UK, and the Rhino. So I've heard the comparisons. Patrick on the PB Thal channel, or formerly the Vinyl Archivist channel, he had done some really good cuts of it and played both for us, both the Rhino repress and the original. I believe it was the Philips UK swirl, which is the first UK swirl. And from his rip, I thought that the UK sounded a little bit better. There were things I liked about the Rhino as well, though. I liked that the cymbals were a little clearer on the Rhino than they were on the Vertigo. Now, I have never been a huge fan of the first US pressing. I've had a couple of them, and I've just never liked the sound of it. So I was looking forward to this, but I wanted to do something a little different because my go-to for a number of years has been the 2010. What's his name? Ron. Now I'm drawing a blank now that I'm on camera. Is it Ron McMaster? I believe it did the 2010 cut. So anyway, Rhino did a AAA cut. Does it say it on here? Pretty sure it was Ron McMaster. So we'll just go with that. But this has been my go-to for years. A Vertigo swirl in really good condition, VG++ or better, is going to cost you over $500. Even the second and third pressing, it's going to be a few $100. And while again, I think those are probably the best sounding pressings, 300 plus, I'm just not going to pay for the album because I don't think it sounds that much better to necessitate that price. Like I said, my go-to for years, and I did a video maybe 3 or 4 years ago about this specific album and comparing it to the Sanctuary. What was it, the 2017 or 18? They did the deluxe editions with the second album, and they were from the Sanctuary masters, which are digital masters, and I thought those sounded like shit. So again, this 2010 has been my go-to. It was AAA from the original US masters, the same masters that this came from, obviously the same masters that the UK or the US first pressing came from. Again, I've never really liked it. This has been my go-to, but even this has gotten a little expensive. And in mint condition, near mint condition, you're going to pay, 45, 50, 60 bucks for this one as well. So if you were able to get this for the $39 price, I think it was definitely worth it. I will say, and I'm going to play a couple short clips at the end just so you can hear, these are very close. So this is the 2010, this is the Rhino High Fidelity. Ron McMaster, Kevin Gray. I will say, I think the Rhino beats it out a tiny bit. They're really similar. When I played them side by side, I had to go back and forth a few times. The vocals and the cymbals are a little bit nicer on the Kevin Gray cut than on the Ron McMaster cut. The vocals get distort a little bit. They just don't sound as clear. So I don't know if it's just a difference in Kevin's equipment over what Ron was using. But again, I think this one still sounds fantastic. I gave both of these multiple spins today and then A-beat them on the computer. And again, in just about every case, the Rhino, man, I can't talk today. The Rhino Hi-Fi came out on top. I do find it weird, and we were talking about this on one of the live streams the other night. So they're from the US Masters. This is the US cover. It was not a gatefold, but for some reason, and it's got the songs on the back, but for some reason we used the US Masters, but we got the UK which is a gatefold and then doesn't have the songs on the back. So I don't know why they did the, I guess they just wanted it to be a gatefold, I'm presuming. But if they were doing the US Masters, I think they should have used the US jacket as well. Now, one thing I am noticing, it's kind of hard to tell. The detail is not as good on this image as it is on this one. I mean, she's always, the image has always been blurry, but it's blurrier and has less detail on the Rhino Hi-Fi than it does on this. Now, I don't know if it just has something to do with the images used for the US cover versus the UK cover originally, but I have seen the Vertigo held right up next to this one, and this one has been brightened up quite a bit, but it's also a little bit fuzzier. So I think it's kind of weird that they brighten it up, but the image quality is still a little bit fuzzier. Just a little side note, I mean, you got to really look at it to see the differences as far as that goes. But I will say, you know, I think the price on this will come down a little bit. It's already starting to. It was in the high $100 range. Now it's at about $100. I think it'll come down a little bit more as we go along. Another thing that I think is kind of funny, all these people that were especially in the audiophile community, that were begging for Kevin Gray to do this, and they were the first ones to talk trash about how this isn't near as good as the Vertigo Swirl. Just some amusement on my part. What it comes down to, though, ultimately is, I mean, this is one of my all-time favorite records. It's one of the best metal records of all time. It's still something I listen to from time to time. I think a lot of people that are on the audiophile bandwagon are just grabbing it because it's the Kevin Gray audiophile cut. And it's a record they'll listen to a couple times and never listen to again. As somebody that loves it, though, I do think that at the $39 price, this was a great deal. At the $100 price, I don't think it's a great deal. I would still probably go with this one that you can get for, like I said, about $45. I would stay away from any of them that have Sanctuary on the back of them, because not only are they digital masters, the volume's jacked way up on those. I'll see if I can find a video, but I did do a video comparing this one, the 2010 Rhinos, to the 2017 or 2018 Rhinos that were done in conjunction with Sanctuary, and they sound horrible compared to the original. So you can't really go wrong. You know, if you got this, you're going to be happy with it. You're not really going to know, even when I compared this to the Rhino, you only notice a huge difference between the two when you play them next to each other. When I listened to the Rhino song and then listened to this song, I got into the Rhino cut versus the Vertigo cut. I was really getting into both of them, but it's when you go back and forth between the two that you really hear the difference, and it really stands out. So, I mean, if you grab this, congratulations, you're going to love it. It sounds fantastic. To all the people that says that this is 100 times, I've seen crazy reviews where they say this is the best it's ever sounded. It's 100 times better than the UK pressing. I don't agree with that. There are elements, like I said, Ozzy's vocals sound a little bit better on this pressing than the original UK, and the cymbals sound a little bit better. But the high mids are definitely better and more driving on the original than they are on this one. So if that's something that you prefer, you know, I think it adds to the darkness of it. Honestly, I think that as good as this sounds, the fact that it sounds so good kind of takes a little bit away from the darkness of what this album was that scared the shit out of me when I heard it for the first time as a kid. But regardless, you can't go wrong. If you got it, congratulations. You know, if you can afford to spend $500 to $1,000 on the Rhino, I keep doing it, on the Vertigo, you know, I'll by all means do it. I can't do that, but I will say, here's a couple of clips. Take a listen to them and just tell me what you think. All right, guys, take care, VC. Bye.